Okay, my friends, we got a serious issue on our hands. Why are people rejecting science? Why are so many people saying science is just crazy now? Well, let's see if we can figure out why. Well, what if you couldn't trust your teachers? What if they were frauds? Academic frauds. And what is an academic fraud? Someone that's in academia that selectively suppresses unwanted or unacceptable results. Of course, they can also steal your ideas at the same time, but this is defining what academic fraud is. Now, let's see if we can find some. Okay, my friends, so most of you know I discovered mud fossils, and I had them the first one in the world to have them DNA tested and CAT scanned and everything else. And these are some lungs. That was DNA tested and CAT scanned, human lung. And refusal to look at it by all the top universities after having the specimens, DNA tests, CAT scans, chemistry, anatomy, all that was done, refusal to look. I see it as academic fraud. I don't know, maybe you don't. I do. Let's discuss a little deeper. And don't forget, this was all DNA tested. A lot of stuff was CAT scanned, the stuff I could. I bought all the stuff. I had the telescoping microscope. I bought the blood slide microscope, all hooked to the computer. I did everything. I did everything they wanted to do. CAT scans, DNA tests. This is unacceptable information because it sheds light on the fact that someone was right about giants. There was giants in the earth in those days. Call me a creationist, call me whatever you want. I'm calling them now the ones that won't look at this. It appears that this is academic fraud. That's the way they define it. It seems like it to me. Okay, what you're going to be looking at is this strap that runs right over the top. It's as flat as a pancake now, and it broke right off here. So you have a little slip coming down, and then you're going to see the muscles wrapped around the bone ball. Which, can you see that over there? No, you can't. You'll see the muscles wrapped around this bone ball. You see what you can see inside after you take the bone out? This is very, very detailed. Now, up above, what you're going to see in the other scan, hold on, is the bone, the back of the bone. That's about all you can see. In the mud fossils, it's called nucleophilic substitution. It's completely turned into minerals, basically. All right, but this is, you can come back and refer to these things if you want later to see what the anatomy of the hand is like. But really, that's the one down there that you're really going to be thinking about is this one here. All right, and the back of the bone. Because all you're going to see is the back of the bone and then the blood vessels, one on each side. All right, this is the fingertip, and these are the two tendons that run down, and one of them will have the vein blood and one will have the artery blood running up through there, so you'll see a dark and a light spot. But you don't see a whole lot because everything has transitioned into the minerals because of nucleophilic substitution. Now, the other thing we're going to be looking at that's going to be quite important for you to understand is that the bone ball, which I'm going to be showing you, has muscle wrapped around it. And it also has a tendon that breaks off right there. You see this now? Pay close attention to this. This flat strap we're going to see. Then we're going to see this little piece coming off, broken off right here. Then we're going to see the actual bone ball, and we're going to see muscle wrapped on it. It eroded in such an unbelievable way, it's incredible. One side of the bone ball will be exposed. The other side will still have the muscle on it. And then it will also have the broken, what they call an abrupt transition. You see right there? That's in a transition between tendon, which is not really flexible, just really tight, and then into the muscle, which gives you a lot of movement. So in the CAT scan, we're going to be looking up this way into that bone. And that's what you'll see is the surrounding bone. And I believe it's a thumb because it's offset. It's not directly in the middle, which your other fingers are. Your thumb is offset. If you push your thumb, you're going to feel one side sits off to the other side. A little bit different on the thumb. Alright, check this out. Remember I told you that flat tendon came down here, and then the bone ball was at the end, and the abrupt transition. You see that little round spot there? That's a tendon that came running down, and then the muscle started here. Abrupt transitions, I mean, they just snap right there. Now, this is just unbelievable how this eroded. And this was, I have the whole hand, I have everything. That's a finger that was CAT scanned. Now, this is that flat spot that I talked about, the tendon. Look at this. On the other side is the bone ball. This is almost like my anatomical drawing. There's the bone ball. And this is tissue and tendon. And it's really red. If you put that in a little, I should probably put it under a microscope. I got that going. You can see all the tissue, and you can see all the blood and everything that was in there. And the blood came out nice and red. So, and this was a DNA tested. Well, this didn't get CAT scanned, but the finger did. And I don't have much of CAT scans left. I had 7 CAT scans done, but I converted over to Linux, and this is I don't think it's, well, I know it's not compatible. Something. Anyway, I still have them, but they're set up to work on Windows, I think. Now, this is the fingertip. Well, it's the knuckle. It's exactly right there. That's that flat strap. All right, it's either this flat strap right here or right up there, one or the other. But that's what the flat one is. There's the bone ball. So it's here. It's either coming up this way or coming down this way. Actually, I figured it out. It's actually coming down this way. It's like this was my finger. And this runs down to the side, like over this way, to hook in so that I can do this kind of stuff. That's what this one does. So this flat spot is this flat spot right on top of my finger. And this ball is this ball right here. That's how this worked. That's right. I remember now. Alright, so here's the fingertip. Now this fingertip is literally flawless. This is the tendon that runs up that side, and this is the tendon that runs the other side. You see how this is black and this is like white? And you see that little spot right there? And that little spot right there? Those are the artery and the vein. The vein brings your blood back to home. That sends your blood down. The red blood just washes out. It's the hematite. It just washes right away. Black blood's different. That hardens up hard. This is where the bone was. And in the CAT scan, hold on, let me see. You can't really see a whole lot, again, because of the nucleophilic substitution. But you can see, hold on, you can see there a little bit. All right, if you know what to look for and you have any common sense, you can see. All of the blood vessels are there. That's where the bone was. You could see it as it, well, here, anyway, it was shown pretty obvious. That's where the bone is. All right, and these are where the blood vessels are running up the sides. And you could see the actual fingernail where it was in some of the shots. Anyway, and I had, like I said, I had 7 different things CAT scanned. Jesse Grant and Associates did this. They have a couple of places that it's absolutely fabulous work and nicely done, and they donated it in the interest of science. This goes back to 2015. I posted all about this, that it was discovered and that there was giants. That's the thing that killed me. Because immediately I heard from everyone, oh, you must be a creationist, you must be this, you must think the earth is flat. I said, oh my God, please just look at the evidence. Nope, would not do it. Nobody, not a single one of them would examine it. 0. So don't forget, this is 2015. This was extremely detailed. I went through all of the different, what the bones look like, and how I talked about how it's solidified in the process, and actually I made my own. This is where the actual fingernail was. And I pointed out everything over and over and over, and the apical tuft at the very end, and the pads underneath the bottom of the fingertip. And then, of course, I pointed out all these things. And then, the bone and such. And then I have another one that eroded away. That's the distal phalanges tip, and that's what they call the apical tuft, sits at the end. I've got so much of this stuff, it's amazing. And you see the black here? You see the black on that little thing down there? That's the iron leaches through things. This was a brush, and it got wet, and the iron leached out and created the pattern of the twisted little fibers that they have locked in there. Same thing as this iron in the blood leaked out and showed the pattern of the distal phalanges. Here's the whole palm. I have that. I'll show you a good shot of that. And then I went through it. I showed everything, exactly what I just showed you today. And I showed the bone. I showed all that stuff. I showed all the blood. I showed everything. Now, that's not, it was unaccepted by academia. They wouldn't, not a single one of them would look at it. All right, the fingers and all that stuff I showed you from this is the hand. I have the whole hand. This is the left hand. That's where the thumb stuck off. Now, this silvery looking stuff is what's called grip skin. Grip skin is it's a really tough, keratinized, heavy-duty skin that has your prints on it and all that stuff. Very tough stuff, and it peels off just like you peel it off like it was Velcroed on. This is the pad, and it runs around, and that's the little same thing you have on your hand. And then it has the tendon that runs down, and it's broken off right up where the knuckles were, where I showed you. This is the cleave between your two pads of your hand, the big pad and the little pad. And I have the fingers and the knuckles all came out of the same hole, so it's very unlikely they're just rocks. Okay, why don't they trust science? Well, everything's peer-reviewed, and they won't let you speak unless they allow you to speak. So I see that as avoidance of truth, which is an issue. Now, even the person that posted this article 10 years ago almost, or 9 years ago, Don Lincoln from Fermilab, it says exactly what I say. This is a fixed particle. It doesn't change size. This is a glowy little particle. It may have no size at all. To a mass, this has a certain mass. We accelerated and created the muons and electron neutrinos, and then we actually separated them, all right, for the muon neutrino electron shower, this is from CERN and Fermilab. They've seen these, and Don Lincoln agrees he's seen these same particles. They just have no idea where they came from. And here he is right here, Don Lincoln from 2013. The same exact particles. If you didn't see that, I don't know how you could miss it. That's the same particles right there. A black one and a glowy white one. All right, so what does that tell me? It tells me, he says exactly what I say. In summary, the extended particle, the black one, have a fixed size. I agree 100%. They have a fuzzy edge. I agree 100%. The point-like particles are mathematical abstractions with zero size. Could very well be. But particles have an extended field effect surrounding them. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. That's Don Lincoln. And he won't allow me to participate. So this is going to be my next story about, because I've also presented this to every university as well, and nobody's responded. So who do you trust now? Why, if their job is to investigate these things, I would think they have a fiduciary responsibility to the people that they're disseminating their information to, especially students who pay to be trained on the latest and the greatest. And when the teachers refuse to examine anything that goes against what they want to indoctrinate the kids into, now we got an issue. And we really got an issue in this country right now with physics and science of every manner, history, geology, space. Space is saturated with particles. It's not empty. So I'm gonna do the mud fossils today, and then we're gonna get into this in the next video. All right, so we've wrapped it up for today, and like I say, I'm going to get into the physics, which is denied again. Is that academic failure? I see it as that. Absolutely. We're trying to get free energy. We're trying to get all these things. That's why I invested all these money in these people like Don Lincoln at Fermilab, and all these other people are supposed to be doing this job. I don't think they're doing the job they should be doing. If they are, talk to me about my research. Why is my research any less important than theirs? They tried to do what we wanted to do. In 1978, still couldn't do it. They still use protons. We use photons. We're in the subatomic range to begin with. They're starting with big atoms. Boom, just debris they're digging through. Your only option now for education is Mount Fossil University. That's your only option.